those two qualities are the things that I've seen in Dad. So let's go on. We're going to get to the behind-the-scenes Zig stories, and I've got about 3 hours worth of them. And you've already gotten some bonuses, so I might skip one or two. The first one is my best Christmas ever. I was 12, and I was big time into bikes, bicycle motocross, you know, the jumping and all that stuff. And I wanted a bike. But Dad said, I don't speak bike. You know, I mean, it's like its own language. So he said, I'll take you down to the Richardson Bike Mart for Christmas and you can pick up a bike. We go into the store, and in front of us is a grandmotherly type lady, and she's buying a bike for her granddaughter. And the manager comes over, looks at us, says, I'll be with you in just a minute. He's the only one working there, and he's helping this grandmother. And she says, well, I want that bike right there. And the manager says, that's a great bike. Let's bring your granddaughter over. Well, she gets on it, and her feet don't touch the ground. It's too big. And he says to her, this bike's too big, it's unsafe. But the good news is that bike she was riding around, that's the same bike, it's just a smaller frame. You can get her that one. She'll like it better. And the lady says, no, I want this one. I want the big one, because that's the one the neighbor has across the street. And the manager says, well, you know, maybe she won't be able to reach the ground, she could fall off, it's unsafe. She says, no, I want this one. He says, well, look, she's really enjoying riding that bike right now. She can't even really get on it. She says, no, I want this one. And the manager looked at her and said, ma'am, I'd really love to sell you that bike, but I can't. I couldn't sleep at night. And she got mad and left. Walked out. So Dad's looking at the bike salesman, the manager, and he's like, whatever he wants. Just get my son whatever he wants, because he now trusts this man. Well, that story is in Secrets of Closing the Sale. So I thought that was the story. Well, I was listening to a CD series 3 years ago from John Eldridge, Wild at Heart, and I don't know, he's a great guy. And in the story, one of the messages is, it says that God knows a father's heart. So at that point, God knew that Dad wanted to get me the ultimate bike, but he had no clue of how to do that, right? So that's when I realized that we didn't show up at the bike store at that exact moment for any other reason than God wanted Dad to know, I've got this handled, right? So then Dad has this quote, coincidence is just God's way of staying anonymous. So here's a story of integrity of a salesperson, of a manager, doing the right thing. So it meant a lot in that person's career. You know, they got to sleep at night. For me, it was awesome, because whatever this guy recommended, we all knew it was going to be the best one. And for Dad, it was a message. I've got this handled. I know your heart. And so to think that 3 people were engineered into that one circumstance. So when we're going through a tough time or an odd time, we all think it's about me, you know. It's really about everybody in that situation. This old boy down home,